Tabe has just released Arc 7 Chapter 99, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. Highly recommend you check out my Arc 7 Chapter 98 summary. Anyways, let's begin. The word is a war cry, nothing more than a shout. It empowers yourself and allies, focusing the mind moving forward, is a word which unites them. Beatrice can't believe that the Pleiades squadron is decimating the enemy. A group of weaklings were destroying trained Imperial guards. The entire Pleiades was under the effects of a powerful yang magic. Beatrice mutters the words, magical excitation, a technology in the world, but was never really utilized. By the way, I'm not sure if it's technology or technique. Even Echidna, who mastered all forms of magic, gave it a name and then left it as an ancient fantasy, as it was not possible to be reproduced by one individual. The magical excitation is another method of forcibly realizing the flow method, which utilizes the mana flowing in the body to strengthen the body. It induces the same effect as yang magic, but is separate to yang magic. In a mentally or physically urgent situation, an unused gate in the body is opened, and as a result, the person falls into the same state as those who use the Ryuho technique. Those with superior abilities can learn Ryuho. However, what's important is that magical excitation forcibly removes the human limiter, and that has been applied to all members of the Pleiades squadron, which is thousands of members strong. By the way, quick editor's note, because I know some of you might get a bit confused because I keep using random terms. So Ryuho is when you use your mana to strengthen your body. So in the last chapter, chapter 98, I mentioned how Cecilus ran forward and his mana was strengthening his body. So that technique is like a using mana for martial arts, and that's known as a Ryuho. So essentially what it's saying is that the flow method, which is just using mana to strengthen yourself, is essentially what magical excitation is another form of just using your mana to strengthen yourself. So they called it like yang magic because it buffs yourself, but it isn't yang magic. However, I'm confused when they talk about an unused gate in the body is opened, because of course we know Subaru doesn't have a gate, and he's managing to do this with his authority, Little King. However, it seems like potentially you could open a gate if you were to do this in a different way. Again, I'm not too sure. Tape will most likely add more information. Either way, we do know that Subaru is using Little King to essentially replicate this idea of magical excitation. In the past, Echidna witnessed a phenomena known as magical excitation from a tribe. The tribe was few in numbers, and before, during, and after battles, they would chant. This would increase their morale and their strength, allowing them to win battles. However, despite that, the tribe couldn't make up for their low population size, and thus disappeared into history. However, the Pleiades squadron was showcasing an ability which was lost to history, with Subaru at the center. They are united by a strong trust. This allowed the Pleiades squadron to crush all opponents. Don't let anyone die. Make them think they cannot win even if they try, Subaru shouts. The men shout their acknowledgement. In a battlefield, a declaration of non-lethal force by the top leader, this would be seen as foolishness. Blow comes after blow. Imperial soldiers are incapacitated. Their strength physically and mentally are robbed from them. It's not a tactical decision why they're left alive. It's because Natsuki Subaru does not have the courage to take lives. Beatrice asks Subaru how much he's thought ahead and put into this. However, Subaru just says that they just chant to boost their morale. Beatrice understood Subaru's answer. Neither Subaru or the Pleiades squadron understood the concept of magical excitation. They are fighting with an ability that even the witch gave up on, and what Beatrice doesn't know is that the only one who can put this power into practice is Subaru, who has the power of Little King. Beatrice shouts that that's why Subaru is Betty's partner. With that, Beatrice thrusts out her hand towards some Imperial soldiers and chants El Shamak. A black fog covers the Imperial soldiers, robbing them of their thoughts, removing their will to fight. In a few minutes, the Petelguese squadron has crushed the 4th apex and removed any will for the enemies to fight. The scene changes. The breakneck advance by Petelguese was heard by Abel's camp. At this point, the name of Petelguese did not reach him, only that a group appeared and destroyed the 4th apex. Hearing this, Serena states that they lost their chance to show off. Abel asks if this squadron is a part of Serena's army, however Serena says that the flying dragons are her forces. It seems like this new squadron that's appeared looks up to their leader. Serena questions why Abel wears a mask, saying it's fine if he's using it to cover up a scar on his face, but Abel brushes her off. Of course, Abel knows Serena and his evaluation of her is high. However, the mask of course prevents her from understanding his true identity. Abel asks Serena and tasks her with taking control over the airspace on the battlefield. Abel also inquires over the new squadron to the west, and Serena states that the leader of the squad in the west is said to be a black-haired crown prince. Of course it was a rumour, but many people have united around this one person. With that being stated, Abel squints. Abel analyzes the situation and comes to a conclusion. A group with extremely high morale, a group which traversed a distance which was not possible. Abel speaks aloud. Finally, they started using their power properly. The scene changes. The main camp is in the rear, overlooking the battlefield. Serena Dracoi is targeting the flying dragons led by Madeline. Flying dragons are ferocious and never get along with humans. Madeline took care to not damage any Imperial soldiers on their side. The flying dragons did not attack indiscriminately like at Guaral, however their destructive power was high, being able to throw boulders and use their sharp claws. However, the flying dragons were only able to attack enemies which relied in groups. Those who were strong individually could not be approached. A large voice rung out, "I, Messioria, I will follow the voice of my beloved child and become wind from the sky." "Icicle line," Emilia shouts. In an instant, Emilia waves her hand, creating a line of ice across the world, and jumps away. Moments after, a tail lashes, evaporating it. This was done by a mighty being with white scales, a threat to the world, Mezeoreia. Emilia clenches her teeth and notes that the dragon has the same name as a city in Wallachia. She creates another ice wall, blocking Mezeoreia in. By using an ice wall, she can prevent Messioria from escaping. Madeline was a tough opponent, and now with Messioria, it was very hard to fight. Emilia wishes she had help, but knew it would be very unlikely that anyone could come. That's because the temperature is plunging. As per Petra's suggestion, by walling off a small area, those trapped inside will be affected by the cold. Most dragons are vulnerable to the cold. The temperature was so cold that normal people would be unable to hold their weapons and move. It was similar to when Puck released his pent-up mana before the Roswell mansion burned down. Of course, this is talking about Memory Snow, the OVA. However, due to the cold temperature, no one would be able to help Emilia anyway. It was simply too cold. A voice loomed out. "I, Messioria, I will follow the voice of my beloved child and become wind from the sky." Emilia's eyes flashed as she heard the booming voice. There was a declaration by the being, and in the next instant, the world warped. Once again, her ice wall was destroyed. Emilia dashes, avoiding the ice dropping down on her. Emilia dances, slashing at ice with her sword and blocking with her ice shield. She keeps her eyes on Messioria. She learned from the fight with Volcanica that losing eye contact is not a good idea. Even the slightest move from a dragon could result in death. Emilia tries to talk to Mezeoreia, however Mezeoreia replies with, "I, Mezeoreia, I will follow the voice of my beloved child and become wind from the sky." Emilia looks at Mezeoreia and she feels it in her teeth. "I, Mezeoreia, I will follow the voice of my beloved child and become wind from the sky." Mezeoreia was exhibiting the same symptoms as the divine dragon Volcanica, and with that, the chapter ends. So, quite interesting chapter. It seems like all of the true dragons are riddled with some form of issue. So first Volcanica, now Mezeoreia. So that we know Mezeoreia is most likely super weak at the moment. He's most likely 10% strong, similar to Volcanica. So I'm assuming Garfiel will come and slap up Mezeoreia. As for this magical excitement, so it looks like a magic technique which you can use, but from my understanding, Beatrice thinks is magical excitation, but is actually Subaru using Little King, which is his authority of Corleonis. Again, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Tappy will give more information about this. But give me your opinions on the chapter.